everybody, Tupy here again. T-U-P-Y, that's T-U-P-Y-O-R, number 2, letter P. That's me. Going to go ahead and start doing the Alpine drawing. Got my paint pens. Got my whoopsie rag with some paint thinner on it, just in case I have a whoopsie. So let's get after this. All right. This is my new guy. He's a big guy. And I'm going to go ahead and work this way because I don't want my hand dragging across the paint. All right. When you're drawing, you want to see, if I did like this, I would most likely would get the back of my hand would have paint on it. So let's get after it. I'm going to start this in, and we're going to go bob wire. Now, see how I have this right here? If I did this map with a straight line, see how awful it would look? Because I can't, it's hard to do a straight line unless I had a ruler, which I'm not going to do. So when I did this map, I thought, well, you know, if I do a bob wire, then I don't have to worry about a straight line, which works out a whole lot better. I have a lot of fun painting on my canvas, which is my camper. It is an older camper. It's a 1995 Aljoy. And if you notice, as I'm going to do this through here, I'm going to just have places where I stop. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no, I'm not worried about how it has to look exact. Art is not exact, okay? Art is exactly what it is. You see how I have my pinky up here? I use my pinky up here. That's a little tidbit. I keep my hands off the paint, but keep my hands steady. Also, when you're doing your paints, remember to have the paint pen facing down because it will run back here and you won't be able to use it, and you do not want to push on it unless you need a lot of paint. All right, let's start back to the Huey tanks. No, it isn't tanks as in army tanks. It is a mountainous region, and I'm just doing a little here. It's kind of, I'll go back here once this is dry and touch it up a little bit of black to make it look a little bit like mountains. Huey, H-U-E-C-O, stands for hollow because it catches water on those mountains. That's why they came up with tanks. I don't really kind of know on that. I'm going to get a little closer. There we go. I'm way up in the air on this camper. The camper is jacked up a good 8 inches higher than it normally is. And so I've got my tripod on a T-post. Hey, redneck style. Get her done. You see shadows because it's the sun coming through the trees, and you hear roosters and stuff like that. But you know what? If I waited for the right time, I would never get it done. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get her done, as Larry the Cable Guy would say. Get her done. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, this is the emblem for John Bankhead, his highway that he started back in 1916. Like I said, I'm going to kind of go over, there is a tutorial that I did of the history of this as I'm painting. If you caught that, I'm probably going to be repeating myself. And that is okay. They call it the Bankhead Highway. Some of them still exist, the roads, and some of them don't. But he wanted to encourage people to travel. Mr. Ford, Henry Ford, was the man that came up with the Model T. He could build a Model T in 93 minutes through an assembly line. He's the one that came up with the assembly line concept. Just little bits of history. He also he built a car that beat, I don't even know what its name is, but he raced the guy that had the fastest speed, and because he beat him, the automobile union allowed him to start making more cars. All right, if you see here, I know you might not be able to see the fine details, but El Paso right here, I just covered it up with it. So how am I going to fix that? And I can go one of two ways on fixing that. So I'm going to probably go ahead, let's do something different. I'm going to cover up over it, okay? I'm literally going to cover over it and make it a bigger mountain here to fix my whoopsies. Sometimes when you're painting, you just got to come up with things that are, you know, you just got to make do and get creative. So this is my mountain now. It's a little bit bigger mountain. All right. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and I'm going to come back with white and put El Paso, and I'll put a star there, and that'll be that. I'm going to go ahead and leave that star. It's not quite, these actually look okay as far as the hue he takes. Let me see if this is dry. Let's find out. Yep, no paint. So let's go ahead and give these, I'm using a fine, I don't have the ultra fine out, but I'm using the fine. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a border. Just kind of give it more of a different, more mountainous look. It doesn't have to be perfect. And trust me, I'm going to have to redo that. That just looks like turd. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll add some red in there and some, kind of like I did with Powderia. I'll add a little bit of color in there so it doesn't look like what I just said it was. All right, hey, you know, when you're creating art, you never know what. Sometimes you get poop and sometimes you get a masterpiece. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a border. Let's see if I can straighten that up. It's hard to sometimes draw sideways. And now you know why. See with my arm here, why all right, let's see if I can do a B here. Not a really great B. I'll probably come back and touch that up here a little bit. All righty, let's go ahead and keep working this way. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Guadalupe Peaks. This is a emblem that's on top of the mountain where I believe there's like a box that you can sign saying that you've done it. You will need to bring water because it is very hot in this area. Guadalupe Peaks is our highest elevation. I'm going to need a fine tip for that. Let's go ahead and do, see the tip difference? Okay, all of them, there's about, I think there's 5 different styles of paint. I think this is called a medium. Let's get this more color. I probably have my head there, I apologize. It is a beautiful, beautiful day out today. Thank you, Lord, for a gorgeous day. You know, one thing about Texas, that's the other thing that makes Texas so great. Especially if you're a camper like I am. I love it. Okay, I'm not getting a lot of stuff out of this. I'll finish my thought in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and dab it, get some color down to the pins. It's probably not coming out because I have my pen like I told you not to do. But Texas weather, you can camp pretty much year round. However, if you don't like the weather in Texas, we have a saying, just wait a little bit, it'll change. My husband and I were putting in a fence for a neighbor, and we had concrete on a trailer and everything, and it went from 90 degrees to 50 degrees. It dropped 40 degrees in 1 hour. I kid you not. It was incredible. And that's what Texas is. It will, the temperature really, I mean, 1 minute it can be gorgeous like this, and then in an hour it can be thunderstorms that we don't get earthquakes. We do have, I think they think it's from gas drilling, but we do have minor earthquakes, but I think it's just due to, like I said, drilling of gas. Now I don't like that E, so I'm going to go ahead and put a white dot in there so it looks like a definition of E. I'm not really, sometimes I get methodical and I want things to be perfect, and then there's some days like today I'm just like, you know what, because you know the nice thing about this canvas, I can come back and touch it up anytime I want, which is great. let's see here. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, I'm trying to work my way down. So I'm going to go ahead and on the Bankhead Highway, I just went ahead and did something like this to make it kind of look like, I probably maybe I'd have done it in yellow, but you see it better with the red. And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to be in my way while I'm drawing. You know what though? My Huey tanks. Let's add that color that now I probably should put a glove on, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use my finger here. Put a little bit of color in here. Just blend it in a little bit. Maybe even a little orange. Because this did have some color in it. And it's the gist, I guess. You can get the gist of it. Alrighty, let's see if I can't find my ultra fine black. Where's my ultra fine black? I thought I had it in here. I do not. There it is. My ultra fine, my drawing one. For when I make sure I'm not putting my hand in anything. Okay. I'm going to give just a little bit of dimension to these numbers. Just make them stand out a little bit. I'm not going to color them all in because when they have a little bit of white, it sticks out even more so. Don't you agree? Are we having fun yet? I'm having fun. This is like relaxing. Painting by numbers. Except I'm a 2. I'd be a 2P. 2 is my favorite number. Alrighty. Balmura Pool. I'm going to leave that just stand like it is. There's no need for me to touch that up. It's good. And I am going to go ahead and do that star now. You know what? See, I got a little black on that. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit more before I paint on it. So let's go down to the green grass of Alpine. This area here is really what they consider to be cowboy country. See, I'm not getting much in here, so because I want paint, I'm going to go ahead and, I don't think this one has much in it, but you might be surprised. You got to be careful sometimes. I probably ought to keep doing this. I think, there, see, it comes out now. Let's just give a little bit of color over here. Just adds a little bit of pop. Good enough for me. All right. Let's go back to cattle, the cattle drive. I don't think cows are yellow. However, in Waco, they used to have these cows, they call them way cows, and they were made out of fiberglass. I got to decorate 2 of them. One of them was actually on Willie Nelson's, Willie Nelson had a shop. He still actually has it. He owns the store here in Abbott. And I went ahead and got to paint one of these way cows. They're made out of fiberglass, and there's the size. They're made out of fiberglass. And they literally are the size of a cow. And they were given all different colors, and they sold them off. And so they're no longer there anymore. If you've not been to Waco, I would totally encourage you to come. Chip and Joanne kind of just put us on the map with all the fixer-upper stuff that they did. And now we get a whole lot more people in Waco. It's a cool place. Lots to do. If you want to go to the Elvis house, there is actually a bread and breakfast place that's called the Elvis House. It's where he stayed at in Fort Hood. It was kind of his place of oasis that this gentleman that was a DJ friend of his that kind of opened up his house to him. And he sought refuge there. And that's cool. That's a cool thing to do if you go to Waco. Of course, we've got a really good zoo, Cameron Zoo, as well. Oh, there's just a ton of stuff. You got the Dr. Pepper Museum there. We've got the Hall of Fame Texas Ranger Museum. Baylor has been really growing a lot, so we've got a lot of stuff in Baylor to do, so if you see here, it's not a lot of just touching up the cows. Mr. Goodnight and Mr. Loving were the ones that were in this trail. This whole Paladura Canyon area is where they still have their ranch here too. So they, I don't think they're running cows, but like they were before, but their spread is still around. Let's see if we can touch up the Goodnight here. It's a little bit faded. His wife, I'm sorry, I probably got my head stuck right in there. Let's see if I can do this so you're going to challenge me here, and that's okay. I like a good challenge. I got to watch my hand, make sure it doesn't get back into those cows. I could probably take this brown to make some cow chips, but that would just be gross, wouldn't it? So I'll keep it PG. And since I already did a poop over here. Alright, Mr. Goodnight and Mr. Loving Trail is done. Done. Alright, let's give a little bit more color to the Guadalupe peaks. Guadalupe is also a river here in Texas, if that confuses you. And alrighty, we are getting around. Alright, I told you I was going to fix my boo-boo. My boo-boo is this. Frank Observatory. It's not Frank Observatory, it's McDonald Observatory, because Mr. McDonald was the one that contributed. Frank Observatory is not, it's like Frank Museum, anyhow. Alright, so let's go ahead and touch it up. I have not been here. I have had friends that went here, and they said it's phenomenal. I'd love to go check it out and see the stars. If you like astrology, this is the place to go. And I'm really hoping you can see this, and I don't have my big old fat head in y'all's area here. This is kind of what the observatory looks like. It's kind of hard to sometimes draw all the fine details. I just want to get the gist of it. And let's see, so how am I going to fix that McDonald? Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to do this. Let me do this the easy way. Get the big mama jamba out here. Alright, let's see if we can't just color over that, kind of like what I'm going to do with the star. I'm going to go ahead and write McDonald Observatory there. I'm going to let it dry here. Let's go back over to the star. I think we're done. Yep, there we go. So let's draw a star here on the mountain. You know what? This yellow is not coming up very good. So I'm going to make it white. I'll cover it in white. So above the observatory, I did have some stars here. If you see here, I put this on the light. See, I got a little bit of black now. And that's kind of a little bit black and yellow. That's not real strong yellow, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over here and dab this off a little bit. And I'm going to pick up the paint that I have right there, because it's pretty fresh. And then I can see how it just goes right over it. And that looks yellow. Alright, let's because this is a star area, let's go ahead and just paint some stars here. And like I said, it's kind of like just not wanting to waste my paint, so I'm... Alright, so we got some stars there. And let's see if I can't make that a little bit brighter here with the yellow. Now that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now I'm hoping that doesn't bleed. Because I've had times where it'll sometimes bleed into that soap. Just know that these paint pens are basically, see, just get a little paint thinner, it comes right on off. Alright. Alright, let's do our Roadrunner. Mr. Roadrunner is in Fort Stockton. And he is I think he's a bronze. I'm not sure exactly what he's made out of, but he is large, and he's worth, like I said, let's see here if I can't tweak him up a little bit without changing him too much. Give him a little bit of like I said, I could probably put color on him, but I'm not going to. I'm just kind of tweaking him out a little bit here. Just giving him some more. Let's do his eye a little bit better. Just give him a little bit more color. Like I said, after about a year, it kind of fades. He's on. The reason I did this is because he's on a like a stoned platform. So I try to create it somewhat authentic, but sometimes it works, sometimes it. That is so little. I don't know if I can. Let's see if I can tweak it out a little bit where it's a little bit cleaner. All right, I'm just gonna let that be that. All right, there's that, and there's that. Fort Davis. I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. Fort. All right. Fort Davis. This place is out in the middle of nowhere too. All right, let's do some Marfa lights. I forgot to say this on the video. Marfa is a place in Texas. It's like It's like an art capital. It's kind of like Austin. Keep it weird. There's a thing in Austin. Keep it weird. Well, Marfa is about as weird as it gets too. The reason they call it Marfa lights is there is this unexplained light that's on the horizon at night, and nobody knows what it is. And they think, a lot of people think it's a headlights, but it's out there a lot, so it can't really be headlights. It's not a road. It's unexplained. It's mystical. It's a UFO. Probably not. All right. Now the glider is on here because there is I don't know if it's still doing it, but there was a gentleman that used to give glider tours, and you could actually you can't drive it, he drives it for you, but you can actually go up into the sky area and check out the beautiful alpine area terrain. And I said the reason I did his plane like this is because he had a plane like this, so I'm going to try to emulate the plane. All right, Marfa lights, gotta make some, like on the horizon. Yay! I'm liking it. Okay, the thing dried better. Let's put a little bit of. See, that doesn't look good that way. But if I see, blended it all in a little bit better. Now I can go back a little bit and draw a little bit of style. Let's go ahead and go linear. All right, that looks better. I'm happier about that. It didn't look like a caca. All right, so let's do our cowboy. I did a cowboy thing because they do a lot of cowboy cooking. They have Dutch oven cooking classes down in the Alpine area, and it's mainly known for as the poetry. Okay, this guy's squatting. See if he has some spurs on. No, I just trying to do his silhouette here, not get too technical, not get too fancy. I love Dutch oven cooking. On Dutch oven cooking, on these guys here, they were indestructible. They're very heavy, but you really can't destroy these. All right, Mr. Cowboy on a cowboy. Let's get his little, have an indentation for his cowboy hat, and he's holding on to the horn of the cow, and he's got his rope right there. Got to have your lariat. All right, hard to draw a horse. Oh yeah, that's right. The horse was kind of looking right here. Like I said, I'm just wanted something to look like he was on a horse. That looks pretty good. Alrighty. Like I said, I'm working this way, so let's go ahead and go back to the red. I'll try to hurry it up here and get her done. I'm going to make sure I don't All right. Let's take it all the way to the Colorado River. There we go. Add a little color to this glider. The body was red, if I remember right. Alright. That's looking good. I like it. Let's get a little red here because you know why? It's hot. Red coals. And he's on some ground. He's on in the grass. Now, over near this area, and I'm gonna, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna put Terlingua on this place. This is another weird place, and they do like, it's a strange little place. And Terlingua is out in the middle of nowhere. I'm probably gonna do a Day of the Dead face because they have a Day of the Dead that a Day of the Dead is a Mexican tradition that they celebrate the ancestry. That's how the Day of the Dead is. And all right, so let's go ahead and, like I said, this is gonna, if I am I'm back. If you're falling asleep on me, I can understand why. All right, McDonald, M C D O U L McDonald. Not McDonald hamburger, even though this looks like a hamburger. McDonald, I don't think I'm going to be able to put Observatory in there, so we will have to do this. Observe. And we're going to have to postpone that for a second and add a little length. Shall we? Add, take the end here. Serve it. Observatory. I'm not the best at speller because I'm dyslexic. All right. We'll let that dry. Go ahead and come on down to here. Ooh. You know what? Let's go ahead and finish up this right here. The Rio Grande runs right through here, and I covered it up down to the Big Bend area. Like I said, no rhyme, no reason. Barbed wire is rough, so it looks appropriate. I like it because it gives a little bit more boldness to it. I'm kind of liking it. All right. Let's go down here to the very bottom of our state. So they do have bears in the park. I had a bear here earlier when I was doing my tutorial, and they do have bears. I had some friends of mine that ran into one. When I think of Big Ben, I think of the movie Grizzly Adams, one of my favorite movies. Grizzly Adams, the bear was called Ben. And did you know that Ben, was used because it was a her. She was smaller in size, and so they wanted to use her. So Ben in the movie is actually a female, so it's not a male that you think. And that is a great show. Oh, see? It didn't hurt anything, but see what I mean? I got a little bit of black on me because I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking. Concentrate, Julie. Concentrate. Alpine. Go ahead and make it a capital since I did that. Like I said, trying to hurry up for you guys because I know you're probably going, is this ever going to end? Rio Grande. Rio Grande. This is a fantastic area. If you've not been to the Rio Grande, I'd highly recommend going down there on a rafting tour or just sightseeing. Great hiking area. We do have rattlesnakes, just like most places. All right, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. Let's get down to, all right, there's a couple things. Don't let me forget about this right here, okay? Remind me, all right? Okay, I'm gonna come on over a little bit here. Back it up. And you know what? You guys don't need to see me, so I am going to go ahead and just stay out of the picture so I can paint a little bit better, all right? I probably should have done that in the first place. You don't need to see moi. You're here for the drawing, not me. So it's probably going to be better. And it's easier on my back, that's for sure. All right, Big Bend. A must-to go to. The national park is 3 times larger than the state park. It is a prettier area and has lots of paved roads and shops and stuff like that versus the state park. It's a dirt road, but it's worth going to. If you like people, go to the national park. If you don't like people, then go to the state park. Some people like to just get away where they don't want to see civilization, and then you know what? I can understand that. I really can. All right, because this is the Rio Grande, let's add a little water to it. And before that, I didn't do this. I'm going to do it like I did with this Rio Grande. I'm going to go ahead and do like it's got some water, where it looks like water a little bit, like waved water. That look better? I think it does. And if it's my camper, I guess I'm the only one that can say yay or nay. Yeah. There we go. Okay. That being said, all right, I'm liking it. Let's go ahead and let's do this. We got the mountains here. All right, let's see if I can get this pen to cooperate, which it is. All righty. Rough mountains here. And I'm just gonna go over what I've already done. I painted this thing about 6 years ago, and I touch it up every so often. Try to give it a little bit more color and a little more vividness. Is that all right? So that's that. Let's do this right here for my couple of pine trees here. We got the piney woods. You know what I'm going to do here too? I want to have a little bit of color here, so I'm just going to try to add a little bit of color to this. And just like the Paladura ones, let's add a little red in there to give it a little bit of color to the mountains. I so like fading the colors in there. It looks so much better. Don't y'all think so? I think so. And if I make a little whoopsies, I just either touch it up with the thing or I kind of go back over it. So let's say I do this, okay, and I didn't like that. See, that's no big deal, because all I got to do, I'll let it dry a little bit, or I won't. Sometimes I don't even have to. I'll just come back over here and cover up over it, make my mountains a little bit, you know, a little bit chunkier. Chunky monkey. See? Ta-da! And let's add a little bit of orange in there. I always think orange is a good complement too. And you know what? I'm just gonna give that looks better. More better. That is more better. All right, let's do add a little bit of color to these trees here. Like I said, they're needing a little bit more vibrant color, crispness. Wouldn't you agree? Now, the thing about these paint pens is sometimes you want to use darker. I got a darker green. I don't know if I do or not. I think I do. And you want to just add some more colors to the area as well as I'm blowing on it a little bit. I'll come back with a little pine. I like little pine cones in there. All right, let's go back to, thank you for reminding me. What would I do without you guys? Observe A-T. Oh, gosh, still can't do it. I need an R and a Y on there. So let's go ahead and let's just do it this way instead of the marker. Observatory. I need an R and a Y. Let's go ahead. That'll be enough. And I noticed something about this. This marker is darker than that bigger one. All right. So I'm gonna let that dry, and we'll come over here. Let's put some pine cones on these. Gotta add dimension. Anything a little bit more you add. All right. Okay, guys, let's see here. I got that little bit there. Why don't we, I think, all right, one last thing while that's drying. I didn't show this in the tutorial. We have some cactus. We have the barrel cactus. We have the century tree, and we have snow on the mountain. These are some ones that grow here. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead. You know what, I'll wait on that one. Okay, we're done. We're done. The only thing I need to do, let's see here. No, I need to dry. These things, like I said, they dry in about just a couple minutes. The more ink you put on there, the longer it takes to dry. But it dries really pretty quickly. I'm liking it. Y'all like it? If you like it, but I'm like I said, I'm always finding things that I miss when I'm doing these things. So sometimes I have to come back and tweak them out and add to them. Y'all might have noticed that, or you might not have noticed that. See, there's another one that I missed. All right. So because of that, Momo. All right. I don't think this is done yet. I can look at it. I can look. Actually, it is. Okay, good. R. Y. Observatory. Okay. Woohoo! McDonald's. I haven't got the N on McDonald. Okay. Okay. No big deal. So let's just do this again. See what I mean? No big deal. I spelled something wrong, just like I spelled his name, Frank. You'd think I'd get this right. All right, let's take it. Let's just go over here. Let's come up here and make this a little larger and just color in over my white with black. See, when you make a whoopsie, you know, I actually meant to do that, you know. Not. All right, let's go ahead and McDonald. You'd think I'd know how to spell McDonald's with the many hamburger restaurants that are out there. All right, there we go. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna come back. I'll put McDonald in there, and let's just go ahead and conclude it knowing that I will actually make it right. But you know what? I'm looking at this thing going, yeah. You know what? I'm happy about it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, Give me a thumbs up. That's TUPYOR number 2, letter P. Coming to you. Give me a subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for tuning in, guys.